Hi, I am Jill Brotman with App Properties. Thank you for joining me today. Today I am speaking with Erica Minchella, who is a distressed real estate attorney. And the reason that she is distressed is because she takes the stress off of you. How? You would reach out to Erica if you were having any problems in making your mortgage payment and trying to save yourself from a foreclosure. And Erica is just a very, very experienced attorney in real estate. She practices in Lake, Cook, and DuPage counties. And Erica has her own firm in Skokie at 7538 St. Louis Avenue. And she can be reached at 847-677-6772. Erica's website is reallegalsolutions.com. That's R-E for real estate, A-L-L-E-G-A-L solutions.com. So Erica, with no further ado, I would love to ask you, what is it about Illinois? Why is this an attorney state? Why do people need an attorney in a real estate transaction?
Well, Illinois feels that people who are going into the largest transaction of their lives, the most expensive transaction of their lives, need legal representation. In many other states, the documents are just exchanged through the title company. The seller will deposit their deed and any other documents with the title company. The buyer will deposit their loan documents with the title company, and the title company exchanges everything. And the buyer doesn't know what it is they've signed. They're not guided through it. And the seller isn't told what their legal rights or their legal obligations are. In Illinois, we like to make sure that people understand this. And in fact, the loan documentation that people have to sign for a loan very often says the same thing over and over again. You'll see the same thing in the mortgage and then repeat it again on a single piece of paper, and then maybe another piece of paper buried further on in the package. And the reason for that is because the lender doesn't want you coming back saying, oh, I didn't understand this. When you are closing with a lawyer going through that paperwork with you, you should come away knowing exactly what you signed. You should know that you obligated yourself to reside in the property. You should know that you are required to have insurance. You should know what a default is. And you shouldn't walk away from that closing without knowing what you've obligated yourself to. So having an attorney at the closing assures that you have that education, that you're not spending hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next 30 years, and that you don't understand what you have to do with that transaction. Also, as the attorney on the transaction, I always make sure that my clients understand that they're not required to pay the mortgage the way that it's set forth in the paperwork. You have to at least pay what your principal and interest and your real estate taxes and insurance are, but you can pay faster. And when I sit down with a client, I virtually pay for myself because I explain to them how they can save tens of thousands of dollars by paying their loan faster. And in these days, being able to create equity in a piece of property really helps you control your situation so much better. It assures that you are building equity in that property, that you have your bank available out of your own money, and that you are saving tens of thousands of dollars in interest. So part of the education that I go through with my clients is making sure that they understand everything with regards to that process. I very often have to drink tea or water during the process because I'm talking so much, because it really is an education process. For my sellers, I want to make sure that they've filled out their documentation correctly. One of the biggest traps for a seller is not disclosing problems with the property. So I make sure that my clients understand what their liability is when they're signing the documents for their closing. it really, it's more than an education. It's a matter of really protecting your client on both ends, whether it's a sale or a purchase. So Illinois feels that way. We're very protective of making sure that buyers and sellers have the education that they need to be able to make major purchases without needing an attorney. You don't need an attorney to buy a car, but you really do need an attorney to buy a house. It's important to have that that sense that you know what you've signed and gotten yourself into or out of.
Thank you, Erica. It makes a lot of sense. I know behind the scenes what goes into, you know, purchasing a home and looking over that contract and the attorney review period and all those conversations. And I love your style, and you absolutely serve a tremendous purpose in the
Thank you.
transaction.
Thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about what's going on now during this COVID-19 period with regard to forbearance. What does that word mean? And everyone's kind of throwing it around thinking, wow, maybe I don't have to make my mortgage payment for a while. That would sure be great.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Because a forbearance is just a holding off of the time when you have to make your mortgage payment. So let's say that you're out of work for 3 or 4 months and you enter into a forbearance with your government-backed loan, because non-government-backed loans don't have to do this yet. Um, but if it's a government-backed loan, like a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac loan, you can go into a 6-month forbearance right now and not have to make a payment. At the end of the 6 months, you have to catch up those payments. So it's not like it's a gift of not having to pay. It's breathing room. We also believe that the extension will be for another 6 months, so everyone will have up to 12 months. But your income is going to have to cover all of those whatever payments you are missing, so that you're not being able to wipe out those payments. It's not like a modification. You are going to have to come up with them again, but you're not going to be charged any late fees. You're not going to be charged any additional interest. What we would love to see is that those payments get put at the back end of the loan, but that's not what's being offered right now. So you do have to come up with that money. My concern is that people will fall behind and not be able to come up with that money and then be going into foreclosure or needing modifications. We don't know what the modifications will look like. We don't know if they'll be the HAMP modifications of 4 years ago, or whether it will be something worse or better. But it's not a gift. It's a reprieve.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying that. Lastly, I'd like to ask you about what we call in the industry a FSBO, which stands for for sale by owner. Tell me what you feel about FSBOs.
I'm really not a fan. I do have clients who will call me and ask if I can help them. I charge a higher fee because I have more work to do as the attorney if somebody wants to try and sell on their own. It's, you know, it's like conducting your own surgery on yourself or practicing law by yourself. There are always going to be mistakes. It's the same thing. If you're not a real estate broker, you don't understand things like staging, how to best present the property to get the most value, get the most curb appeal, get people in the door who will offer you the most amount of money. You have to walk people through the property yourself at least 3 times in a transaction to begin with, to see the property, for the inspector, and for the final walkthrough. You're the one who's taking people through, and you may say things that you shouldn't or don't have to about the property, which a broker would know to do or not do. I just feel that people think that because they're selling by owner that they're saving themselves a broker commission. And I will tell you there are two reasons why I think that's a fallacy. Number one, your buyer knows you're not selling with a broker, so they think that they can save some money as well. And so they're going to negotiate with you based on the fact that you're selling without a broker. And the other is that if you're not a professional, you don't know how to present the in such a way to get top dollar. My feeling is, and I've watched this happen a number of times, when somebody goes from being a FSBO seller to having a broker, the broker pays for themselves. The broker is able to present the property in a way that the homeowner doesn't know how to present. And that for the most part, they are not saving themselves money. They're creating a lot of aggravation for themselves, and they're negotiating against themselves because the buyer wants that same break that they're trying to get.
Excellent points. Thank you. We have so
You're
much
welcome.
more that we can talk about, but this is
for
where,
hours.
yeah, this is where we're going to stop today. I know you have a lot to do today, and our viewers usually have sort of a shorter attention span for this kind of conversation. So we're going to be talking again. And for now, I want to say thank you so much, Erica, for your time and your expertise. And for anybody that's watching that would like to have a further conversation with Erica Minchella, please reach out to her at 847-677-6772. Erica, thank you.
Bill, thanks so much for having me.
Would you like to share your email address as well?
Sure. It's Erica, E-R-I-C-A, at ecmincellalaw.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Erica. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, you too, Jill.
Thank you.